Hello, beloved soul. What you are about to hear is not a coincidence, it is a convergence, a moment where heaven's timeline finally intersects with your weary heart. You have been living in a season of waiting. Eyes on the horizon, heart braced for a promise, wondering if the breakthrough would ever find you. It's what happens when delay tries to convince you that heaven forgot your address. But the Spirit whispers this to you now. The waiting period has officially concluded. The decree is released. Your crown is ready. Now it's time to receive it. And I know that might feel foreign because your hands are still calloused from the work. Your faith still carries the fatigue of believing for what you could not see. Your hopes still remember the ache of postponed fulfillment. But a promise isn't defined by its delay. It's defined by its undeniable fulfillment. And here you stand. That alone is a testimony. The longest night is already behind you. Think back for a moment. There were prayers you whispered that seemed to vanish into silence. There were dreams you held that felt too heavy to carry any longer. And yet you carried them. That kind of faith isn't human. It's divine. It wasn't patience that sustained you. It was purpose. Divine purpose. Because God was never going to let the delay disqualify you when the appointment was already set. And now heaven has issued the decree. It's time. The wait that stretched through seasons, through silence, through moments of deep questioning, has met its expiration date. This is why your spirit has been stirring lately, even if you can't explain it. Why the same doubts don't resonate the way they used to. Why the same weariness is lifting. Why a new anticipation is building even if nothing has changed yet because something shifted, something aligned, and maybe you don't see it yet. Maybe you've gotten so used to life being on hold. Maybe until now you never allowed yourself to truly believe the moment was here. And here's the thing. When heaven decrees a promise, it doesn't matter if your circumstances have caught up to it yet. God's timing always outruns human understanding. That means your crown is already crafted, already ordained, already waiting, even before it's fully visible. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. You've endured the delay that tried to dismantle you, and because of that you can receive differently now. Not the hesitant kind of receiving where you're waiting for it to be snatched away, but the open-armed embrace that comes when you know it's yours. It really is yours. This doesn't mean life won't have processes. Purpose has its steps, but the particular weight that defined you, the one that tested your very identity, that season has no authority anymore. You outlasted it. And that is why this moment matters so much, because you're not just stepping into a promise. You're stepping into a season of coronation. Coronation from heaven first, that you never let go of the vision. You didn't become bitter. You held on to hope when it would have been easier to abandon it. And recognition on earth will have no choice but to follow. Not because you suddenly became worthy of it, you always were, but because the timing finally caught up with your testimony. This is the part I don't want you to miss. The way you see your journey has to shift too. You don't need to keep rehearsing the wait that's already over. You don't need to keep preparing for more delay. And you don't have to move through life like it's always a postponement. No matter what the enemy tried to tell you, you're allowed to celebrate now. You're allowed to expect openly now. You're allowed to walk with a confidence that doesn't apologize for itself. Even if joy feels unfamiliar after years of waiting, because God is not asking you to prove that you waited, He's inviting you to reign like someone who already has. And the beauty of that, it changes everything. It changes how you pray. Less from petition, more from possession. It changes how you dream. Less from fantasy, more from faith. It changes how you carry yourself. Less from hoping, more from knowing you're already crowned. You've passed the test of timing. You've endured the silence. And heaven's decree over your life is clear. Your wait is over. So let this truth sink deep. The hesitation, the guarding of your heart, the fear that keeps you from fully embracing the new, those are echoes of an old season. They don't belong to you anymore. What belongs to you now is fulfillment. What belongs to you now is honor. What belongs to you now is the kind of confidence that doesn't mean arrogance, but authority. The kind of confidence that comes when you know the promise was always yours, because it was, because it always has been. So the next time your mind tries to drag you back into the anxiety of waiting, remind yourself that season ended. The decree is released. The announcement is joy. And heaven's timing never fails. Please know receiving is not pride, my dear friend. Receiving is what faith looks like once the wait is over. You've lived so long with your heart in a posture of preparation, bracing for another letdown, another not yet, another year of the same. And that posture became normal. So normal that even now, with the promise at the door, your spirit keeps bracing for disappointment. But God is saying, you don't have to live like that anymore. You're safe to receive now. Receiving is not passive. Receiving is living without fear that what is yours will be given to someone else. Receiving is letting go of the narrative of lack you've already outgrown. Receiving is trust in action. Think about it. When an heir comes of age, no one questions if they deserve their inheritance. No one accuses them of theft for stepping into their name. Why? Because the lineage is undeniable. The proof of who they are is written in their very blood. That's you. You've already waited with a grace others didn't believe you could. You've already held on to promises that were designed to slip through your fingers. You've already proven simply by still believing that your faith is genuine. So receiving isn't optional anymore. It's required. It's what honors the wait. This is the shift you need to allow yourself to make. You are not in constant preparation. You are not one missed opportunity away from losing your destiny. You are not living under a cloud of delay anymore. The wait tried to teach you that hoping was your identity. But heaven is teaching you that reigning is now your inheritance. And when you live in that authority, it changes how you move. You start to notice that you don't need to beg for what is yours. The right doors open toward you without you forcing them. You stop chasing after validation from people who never valued you. You stop apologizing for occupying space. Because receiving silence is insecurity, and insecurity was the last chain trying to keep you small. So let yourself settle into it. Receiving doesn't mean you stop being humble. It doesn't mean you give up gratitude. It means you're no longer ruled by scarcity. You no longer believe that blessings are for everyone but you. It means you're finally letting God fulfill what He promised to fulfill all along. And isn't that what He said? For all of God's promises have been fulfilled in Christ, with a resounding yes. That's not a metaphor. That's covenant. Your receiving is part of the reward. The same way a student doesn't study forever. The same way a builder doesn't lay foundations endlessly without a roof. You are not meant to live in constant waiting. You're meant to live in cycles. Yes, there are seasons of sowing, but there are also seasons of reaping. This is one of them. So take notice of how God is already inviting you into it. The opportunities that feel less like struggle and more like flow. The favor that doesn't make sense but refuses to be ignored. And listen, it's okay if it feels unfamiliar. When you've been wired for waiting, even blessing can feel overwhelming. Even open doors can feel risky. Even victory can feel too good to be true. But that's only because your heart hasn't caught up to your spirit yet. Heaven already declared it. The wait is over. Now your soul and mind are learning to live like it. So be gentle with yourself. Practice receiving like you practiced waiting. Practice reigning like you practiced persevering. And soon you'll see that receiving doesn't make you greedy. It makes you generous because you give from a place of overflow, not lack. You lead from a place of confidence, not insecurity. You love from a place of wholeness, not need. That's why God is insisting on this shift. He's not just giving you a promise. He's giving you a platform. He's showing you that His blessing isn't supposed to feel like a struggle. His promise isn't supposed to feel like a test. This receiving is holy. It's restoration. It's God's way of saying, you passed the test of time. Now step up. I prepared this for you. So let this truth cover you like a crown today. You are not being arrogant by receiving. You're not being pushy by stepping into your purpose. You are not wasting your wait by enjoying the harvest. You are aligning with the very decree of heaven. Because heaven never asked you to wait forever. Heaven asked you to trust, and trust at its deepest level looks like receiving. So open your hands tonight without fear. Step forward without hesitation. Smile without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because this time it won't. The decree is joy. The invitation is to reign. And both belong to you. Now, when a word like this lands, your spirit wants to stay in the presence of it. That's why I made Chosen in His Light, a channel with music I've created for prayer, meditation, and deep rest.